Hello guys, welcome to Reverie. My name's John.
And I'm Simone.
And welcome to another episode of Poetry and Philosophy.
Otherwise known as P and P. We have another video for you where this one is poetry. So, this poem is titled Bicker and Better. I there the cosmos has bestrown, the gleaming example of a home, the hearth hold and knoll upon which it is shown, that comfortably we find it all we've sought in our repose. We come to lose it in these our present hours lone, the whole idea of our own. With an axe bumbling, us tramps wreck apart the fencing and garden that tried forefathers and foremothers diligently discovered, upkept, and guarded. Speak, for what preposterous thing than but a rending, leave ourselves vague and wretched, putting up the dimming neon sign that says vacant. When the stars aglow keep whispering through the smog-riddled welkin, caressing the flesh of warm blood so down beneath them, leaking still into our pores no matter how deeply we continue our reclusing. We on going with refusing their welcome, fidgeting amongst ourselves who is better, and whether there is any hope for this leper. Which spark will die first, I consider, love or forever? And so, my whole point with this poem, basically, what inspired me to make it was, I think it was the annual report that comes out every year. It's made by a bunch of scientists to calculate that depending on the political climate of the whole world concerning war and devastation and famine and many other things, they calculate how close we are on a clock, how close we are to midnight. Midnight being the moment we push the big red buttons or type in the codes and blow ourselves up to smithereens. And I believe it was last year that they said that coming into this year we have 2 minutes from midnight, that we're 2 minutes from midnight. And personally, I'm not particularly scared by that sort of thing. I recognize that the world, even though as much as the media would like to portray the world as, is actually getting better. And there are less wars, there's less of the impoverished, there's more wealth all around. And of course there are issues, there are many issues of all different kinds. And I recognize that. But overall, the world is getting better. But with the note that the idea that we are this close to destroying ourselves, to me, it made me create this poem as sort of a response to that. The cosmos gave us this planet. I mean, it's not the sense of giving it, but by mere chance and luck, this random speck has life on it, and the life that we live. And on top of that, this valuable home that we have, which we don't have another, we in this time are also, there's such an uproar for change in societal structure and systems of power, and for traditions to be uprooted, and for a lot of things to be changed. But at the same time, I wonder what will be the true damage of destroying everything. There are things that do need to change. There are things that are heinous and evil, things that do not help people. But there are also things that are valuable and precious that should be upkept and regarded almost holy. And for me, one of those things is history and poetry and philosophy and other things.
And I feel like most people, when they want some change, it's usually one individual wanting to change everyone and everything they believe in. And I feel like this is what causes problems. There's no diversity in opinion. It's a very linear way of thinking, a very ignorant way of thinking, to think that you can just force people to change. You know? The thing in your poem I wanted to quote, let me find it real quick. With an axe bumbling us tramps, wreck apart the fencing and garden that tried forefathers and foremothers, diligently discovered, unkept, and guarded. So it's part of that thing, you know. Our ancestors are our country past then, in the time when it first originated, had a goal and an ambition and had a reason to leave England, for example, right? Or when we were trying to colonize the United States, of course. We all had that goal of reason. You know, we all wanted to be free, and throughout that freedom, we found many ways to express our freedom: farming, agriculture, building cities. Like, it was prospering, and it really prospered well. But it's that freedom that allows change, good change, to happen, not the forced freedom.
And so, the last thing I want to say has to do with the last line, or the last stanza. We ongoing with refusing their welcome, fidgeting amongst ourselves who is better, and whether there is any hope for this leper, which spark will die first I consider, love or forever. My point in saying that is, it's a very one-sided question. It's a very rhetorical question. Of course, love would die out first before forever, because forever is eternity and infinity, and I'm referring to the universe at large, while love itself is us as humanity, because love is a completely human concept. And in that, I'm trying to say the value of love, the value of connection, the value of the social animal that we are. We are rare. We are immensely rare. We're completely rare. We're almost impossible. And we should treasure that. That, if anything, actually makes us special, is the mere opportunity of existence. The opportunity that we get to exist in such complexity as we imagine it, as we see it. And to just have love, to have such a concept, to have all that we are die out over petty things as who is better or whether there is any hope. I think that's dumb. And I think we should value ourselves and have a little more maturity, a little more, perhaps even a little more conceit as to want to try so hard as to keep ourselves alive and going, and maybe even push to have a spare planet. I don't know. That's my personal opinion. And I think that the infinity would not really care too much or think twice or blink if we disappeared. And so, that's what I got to say.
Beautiful poem, Simone. Thank you for sharing with everyone. And speaking of sharing, if you guys liked it, share it with your friends. Let us know what you think in the comments, and welcome to the community. Alright guys, peace.
Peace.